On this Independence Day, News 9 spoke one-on-one with Congressman Chris Pappas. We asked him to elaborate on his statement from Wednesday, in which he said President Joe Biden needs to decide if he can rebuild confidence to stay in the 2024 election.
Do you believe President Biden should continue as the Democratic nominee?
Well, he's the one who has to determine how he can move forward here. And I think I am disappointed, like so many others are, with what we saw in the debate last week. I think people all across the Granite State have been communicating to me that they wanted a stronger case to be made from President Biden about his vision for the future and to be able to hold President Trump accountable. People were disappointed with what they saw last week. And I think it's up to President Biden to answer what kind of path he can be on for the future to restore confidence or to pass the torch.
What does he have to show you to inspire that confidence in Congressman Pappas?
Well, you know, I've worked on a number of important issues in a bipartisan fashion in Congress, and the president has helped lead efforts around investing in infrastructure, caring for our veterans. That's the kind of work that should continue. So I'm really focused on what I can do in my own role.
News 9 also spoke with Senator Maggie Hassan, who is standing firm, saying President Biden should remain at the top of the Democratic ticket.
President Biden had a bad debate, but what I have focused on is that Donald Trump was an extraordinarily terrible president who has bragged about taking away the freedom from half of the population, has cozied up to dictators, including Putin, and will continue to divide us.
The senator is not taking a position on the president's health.
Isn't the question not can he make it through November, but can he make it through the next 4 years?
We have a very strong system. Joe Biden had a bad debate. Donald Trump had a horrific presidency.
In Portsmouth, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.